So today we're here at Lyca Radio's YouTube channel, and I'm going to be speaking to an amazingly talented singer. She goes by the name of Jonita Gandhi. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? It looks
I'm
nice
good,
and
thank
sunny.
you. Thank you. I like yours too. Although I'm probably looking at the wrong part of the camera, so I don't know what I'm doing here. But Jonita, we actually spoke back in 2021 when you released Na Na with Mickey Singh. And
Yes.
you've been doing so much since then. But before we go into your latest single that's releasing today, let's talk about your influence in music because you were born in Delhi, you moved to Toronto at a very young age, but you kept that sort of Punjabi root heritage. And I feel like some of the best Bhangra music comes from Punjabi Canadians, 100%. And how was that Canadian influence on you musically growing up?
Oh my God, that's actually so true. Growing up in Canada was a lot of Bhangra. It was. And it was a lot of, for me, it was a lot of like Shabad Gurbani. It was a lot of like Tiyan da Melas. It was a lot of like culture shows and like Diwali events and, India Day parades. And there's so many things. And I love it. We celebrate Indian culture really well in Toronto and around Toronto. And growing up around that, I feel like I've always felt very rooted and very connected to my heritage and my culture.
And your dad and brother were actual musicians as well. So did they influence you quite a bit when it came to your musical journey?
Yeah, for sure. My dad, I think I credit him for, bringing me out of my shell because when I was really young, I was really shy. I used to hate singing. Like, I used to love singing, but like privately. And like, my parents would tell me to do it in front of family and friends. I would like run the other way. I'd be like, okay, I'll go to the kitchen and I'll sing from the kitchen and you guys can listen to me from the living room. Like, you can't look at me. So that
Which
was
I've, you know what, I've got a button right there because I've seen videos of you on stage and that does not sound like it's the case.
Well, I mean, now it's not, but when I was small, it very much was. And then my dad kind of like started weaning me into performance, and because my dad was like always playing keyboards and he used to play guitars in college, and he never like studied music or did it professionally, but it was always like something he's very passionate about. And he definitely passed that on to both his kids because my brother and I are both the same. And my mom loves music as well. She like doesn't sing or doesn't like play anything, but she's like a critic and she pays attention to like lyrics and she's a music lover. So it's been in my house. And I'm so grateful for that because it made my transition from like the nerdy girl who might go into medicine into full blown professional artist like so much easier because I had the support. So
100%. Give me 1 second. I think Arthi's just trying to join and I don't
no
want it
worries.
to be in the middle of the interview.
Hi.
Uh, I think she's there now. Cool. We can just carry on from there. So before this point, you were already singing, but then you had this huge break in Bollywood with Chennai Express. Is that something you always wanted to do? Did you think you'd go to Bollywood? Because obviously you were living in Canada, you were quite far away from the Indian roots, even though it was very Indian where you were, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was always a fascination of mine growing up. I wanted to be Madhuri Dixit, and that's like when I thought that she was also singing. Although I found out later that she wasn't singing, she was just acting and dancing and looking stunning. And at that time, I'm like, I want to do all the things. I want to do them all together like she does. And I just, you know, um, privately had this dream, I think. And then growing up, I think it was always just like this side hobby. It was like, okay, then it became a part-time job when I was in college or university. I'd come back home on weekends to do gigs. And like, it was like a great source of like petty income, petty cash. And I was like, wow, this is great. And like, I get to do what I love. And I also get some money for it. And then it slowly started to develop into like a full-blown passion. And I started to invest more and more time into it. And I realized I'm good at it. And that's kind of how it happened for me. But I still didn't think at that time that I was gonna end up in Mumbai, living here, or, singing for films and being amongst Bollywood celebrities. Like that's still kind of crazy to me.
Actually, so the latest single, which we will talk about, is actually you're singing in English, but you've sung in Hindi, Tamil, Punjabi, Telugu, Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali. Like, I can keep on going, but I assume you don't speak all these languages. So, would you say
No.
that music is universal? And how easy was it for you to sing in these other languages?
Music is definitely universal. That is my motto. I can sing and I can connect with people who I couldn't even sit and have a conversation with because we don't speak the same language. But through music, we do. And I think that is so special and underrated. Like the fact that I'm able to sing on all these languages in India and like some of my like most intense followers and fans are, for example, people who speak Tamil, people from south of India. And I think that's so magical. And now they're listening to me singing in languages that they don't speak and they don't understand because they have a connection to me and they have a connection to my voice. And so I think that's something that now I'm trying to like hone in on because it's also kind of like an example of who we are as people, like our generation of like NRIs or like the diaspora, you know. We're very well rooted in our culture, but we also have grown up abroad. We also have such like varying experience and we've
Mia,
mingled.
take food, beta.
Aarti, you're not on mute. Sorry.
I'm dead.
What? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it. I'm so,
No,
so, so
you're
sorry.
fine. It's okay. It's okay. That was actually perfect because like that's what I grew up around.
You gotta love it. You gotta love technology these days. I have to.
But like that's what I'm talking about. Like there are certain things you can take us out of the country, but you can't take our country out of us. You know what I mean? And like I want to celebrate that, and I want to remind people that it's okay to have that, and to also be a little culturally confused and like mix it all up and showcase what you like, and have it be a variety, you know? So that's why the song that I'm putting out and the one you spoke about, it's actually in English. It's also in like there's parts of the song that are in Urdu, there's Punjabi, Hindi, English. It's all mixed together. And I feel like it's all seamless. And that's music for me. It's seamless.
100%. And let's actually come to this new single. So it's called Love Like That. And it's your newest single. It's part of a EP that you're releasing. The song comes out today. Now, tell me a little bit about this song.
This song is called Love Like That, and it's with a very special artist. His name is Ali Sethi. He's incredible. My God, he's a magical artist, I feel. I've worked with him for the first time. We've done a song together, and I've always wanted to work with him. I've seen him online, and I've been his like Insta friend or whatever. But finally getting into the studio with him and seeing him sing in real life, I was like, wow, I'm so glad that he's living up to all the, hype that I had built around him in my head. And it was just such a seamless experience. It was so organic, the way that the song flowed out of everybody in the room. I was working with him. I was working with a producer named Ariza, who's based in LA. We had a songwriter in, her name's Julia Gartha, and everyone was just on their A game. Everybody's so talented, and they all brought a unique perspective to the song. And it was just it was just lyric and melody flowing that day. And I think that's why the song came out as magical as it did.
And it's interesting that you worked with Ali Sethi because obviously he had that huge song Basuri, which was a song, and then went into a film. And then you worked with him. So there's like you singing in English, then he's got like the sort of Punjabi Urdu sort of lyrics coming in and weaving in, and quite nicely weaving in, I have to say, because when I first heard the start of the track, I was like, okay. And then suddenly he came and I'm like, wait, where did this turn to? Like, I just love the way this is all formed together.
I'm so happy that you said that because our intention was for it to feel like natural, you know? And we wanted it to feel authentic, and it shouldn't make you cringe, if you know what I mean. Because a lot of music that we've heard where people have tried to do that, I feel like sometimes has that effect. And we wanted to make sure that we didn't force anything, you know what I mean? And I think we were able to do that. And the song is about forbidden love, it's a universal topic. It's something I think anyone, regardless of where you're from and what language you speak, you can relate to. And it's just very empowering. So.
And do you feel like Love Like That now showcases the Jonita Gandhi of now? From 2013 to now, you've sort of developed a sound, you've done the Bollywood, but now this is where you were sort of wanting to head?
I think so. I didn't know that this was specifically where I wanted to head, but now I know. I've been experimenting for a few years now. I did, the urban Punjabi stuff, and I still am doing a couple of projects. I mean, I want to do more projects in that space. But I feel like what's happening is that I'm discovering that all of these pieces are like parts of me. And as long as they feel natural to me, then they're going to sound natural to my audience. And as long as I stay true to what feels natural, I like that's so far what's been serving me in this new journey. And it's really exciting because I'm able to do so many different things. And I've always wanted to do these things. I've wanted to bring out a little bit of an Afro vibe in my music. Like that's what I grew up on. I grew up on dance hall. Like I'm the biggest Beanie Man fan. I don't know if people would believe this, unless you know me. If you know me, you know. But a lot of my audience, they don't know me like that. And so I'm trying to kind of, without startling anyone, I'm trying to kind of introduce the real Jonita to all of her listeners and whoever else doesn't know who she is yet.
I mean, because you've had big songs like the breakup song, Deva Deva, just, last year, What Jhumka, everyone was like talking about What Jhumka. But that is a completely different vibe to this. But I feel like there has to be levels as you grow older and as you go through your career. Not that I'm saying you're old, but as you're going through your career, you kind of have to come to another level and have to come back to, hey, I actually want to do this as well. The Bollywood's nice. Singing in Hindi and Telugu and all these other languages is brilliant, but I want to come back to where I sort of started almost.
So the language thing, I feel like I've taken it from Bollywood. The fact that like I'm singing in so many different languages. Like I didn't grow up on Tamil music as such. I started singing it for films because of A.R. Rahman sir. And that introduced me to this beautiful language. Like I love singing in Tamil. And now I'm thinking I'm going to put Tamil lyrics in my next project. Why not? So I think it's just, like you said, it's all like parts of the journey. And at different stages, you feel like you want to do different or focus more on different things. The playback stuff will still go on. But I feel like now I have a new passion project and I have something that I can kind of own more than I can own any of my playback songs. And that's really, really special.
And how much influence do you have in this EP? Like, have you sort of started from start to end? Because I know when you're doing a Bollywood song, it might not be the same thing. Like someone might give you the lyrics and then they're like, okay, sing it. And we want you to sing it like this. Or the melody's already there and you've got to try and just work out what's going on. But when you've got a project like this, when it's an EP, you have a lot more control, right?
For sure. I have like all of the control actually, which is like really overwhelming. It sounds like, oh my God, that's amazing. It is amazing, but it's also really scary because it's like now I can't blame anybody else if people don't like it. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's really rewarding and really fulfilling. And it hasn't even come out yet. So I know that I'm in for a ride,
Well, I'm sure no one's going to not like it from what I've heard just from the one single. But what else can we expect from this EP? What other songs have you got on there?
I have 4 songs on this EP, and all of them are, I think, bilingual, if not multilingual. And they all tap into different parts of my life and my experience or things that I'm attached to. They're all kind of surrounded or they're all kind of love-centric rather, which is why we decided to keep Love Like That as the title of the whole EP. And yeah, I think it'll take you on a journey and it'll just be something that's fresh. And I personally feel like I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I feel like it's unlike a lot of the other stuff that we've heard that combines so many different things. So it's like, it's unique. And I really hope that people like it. Let's see.
And finally, just before we end, who else are you featuring on this EP? Or is it mainly just you in the next few songs?
The next 3 songs are all me. So
watch
join me for the ride. It's just me and you.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Lyca Radio. And next time you're in London, we definitely need to get you into the studio so you can come and sing for us live.
For sure. We shot this music video for Love Like That in London, actually.
I saw that.
It was like super crammed, yeah.
But that's cool. Next time you're here, we'll definitely get you into the studio. Have a good rest of your day and good luck with the whole single.
Also, I genuinely think you should keep that part where she was telling someone to eat. Aarti. That was hilarious. I really think you should keep that, but it's up to you. That's just my 2 cents.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
No, it was epic. It was epic.
I was telling my child, I was yelling at her to finish her food.
I know, that's iconic. That's literally what my mom was doing before these interviews.
It was literally the perfect. Well.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
Have a good one, guys.